Well, Weed and Seed is really a two-pronged strategy to addressing neighborhood issues. There's the weed portion, which is about weeding out crime and the negative things such as abandoned homes and that sort of thing in neighborhoods. And then there's the seed portion of it, which is trying to reseed with positive community programs, services, trying to rebuild the housing stock, and just trying to increase the overall feelings of pride in the neighborhoods. I run the Kishwaukee Corridor side, which is the southeast side, and we cover about 4.5 square miles, and when we originally applied for the grant, I know there was close to 11,000 people in it, which is a lot, and we've grown in population since then, so I'm sure it's more than that. But we're one of the biggest weed and seed sites in the country.
And so Weed and Seed is a national program.
It is. It's funded by the Department of Justice and the Community Capacity Development Office.
In your location, what is your largest obstacle?
We have quite a few obstacles. Abandoned homes, prostitution. Obviously, crime is always an issue, but a lot of them are systemic issues that stem from unemployment, lack of opportunities for people, lack of services in place. The prostitution has been an ongoing problem for quite a while, and as I was telling you, we drove it off the streets and sort of drove it onto the internet, which a lot of people would see it as a success because it's not in your face anymore and it's not out on the street. But the real issue is that there's still people being exploited. So we are working to address that. The abandoned homes, we're working on a CPTED strategy, which is community crime prevention through environmental design. And we're trying to work to address the abandoned homes, the foreclosed homes, the general appearance of the neighborhood, because the first thing that you think of when you drive into a neighborhood, it revolves around what you see. And if you see boarded up windows, broken windows, if you see overgrown leaves and broken down cars parked in the yard, you're not going to feel safe. And that's what we're really working to address.
We just had a training in the community which is called Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design. It was a national training that we brought in on a grant, and basically what it tries to teach you how to do is to design and drive the crime out of the community by changing the physical surroundings of the community, by teaching people how to make their homes less attractive to criminals. But one of the things that they taught us is that these things have to be implemented in neighborhoods where there's already some strong fabric in place, because some of these, we have so few resources. Some of these neighborhoods are so far gone that we could pour resources and pour resources and pour resources, but there's neither the infrastructure nor the people to actually maintain or do the things that need to be done to make it a decent neighborhood. And you have to prioritize, and it's really sad because we have so many neighborhoods that really need this stuff, but it's just a matter of where we start. People call the Kishwaukee Corridor the Bloody L because of the crime that takes place in it, and it's a shame because we've got things like the Midtown District, Hate Village, and I know people that have lived here their whole lives that have never heard of Hate Village. When we're talking about trying to get businesses and trying to get people to move in and buy homes over here, nobody's going to move a business in here let me move my business into the Bloody L. No, yeah. Nobody wants to do that. And when you talk about buying homes, some of these homes, they're huge, like 5-bedroom homes and stuff, selling for $20,000 and $30,000. It's insane because there's so many abandoned homes around them, and there's so much blight and so much crime that nobody will buy them. And these homes, we've got homes around here that have been vacant for 10 years or more. And what Weed and Seed is trying to do is we're trying to get some programs and stuff in place to just offer some of the people that live here a hand up, because the unemployment rate in Rockford is around 19%.
Well, in the mayor's most recent address, he basically said that his focus right now is sustainability, and he said, we're on our own. We have to try to stop looking for, other people, the federal government, the state government, to come in and bail us out, because it's not going to happen. Rockford, we've kind of been forgotten about. by a lot of people, you know, and we do have some politicians that will go and fight for us, but on the large scale of things, when you put us next to Chicago, people don't see us. And regardless of the fact that, you know, we've got a higher per capita crime rate than they do, and regardless of the fact that we've got 19% unemployment, and we've got all these issues that we really need help with, they just, they don't see that. They see the number of people in the community and the size of the community, and that's all they see. And they assume that we can get by on less resources when really we can't. So we're trying to look at, you know, writing grants and getting people involved in bringing in new businesses. We're looking at bringing in Embry-Riddle, I believe it's aerospace, but it's a university, to just try and bring some new blood into the community, and it would create jobs, and it would create, you know, boost the economy. It would do a lot of things for us, and we're trying to look at ways to just help Rockford to grow instead of just, you know, sitting where it's at.
Like I said, the unemployment rate here is 19%. We've got so many other pressing issues. It's a matter of where do we put the money? Where's it going to do the most good? Because there's so many areas of need. We have, for parolees, we've got, I believe it's between 600 and 700 people being paroled into the Rockford area every year, and we don't have a reentry program in place for them. So when these people come out and recommit crimes, which at least 60% of them reoffend, then we say, oh, well, they're criminal thinkers, they've got a criminal mindset. But in a community where the unemployment rate is so high and the economic opportunities are so low, the housing stock is so bad, you know, these people, they've got felonies on their records, they don't have a work history, and then you just send them out, say, okay, you're out, see you later. What do you expect them to do? You know, it's the mindset of, you know, stealing a loaf of bread to feed your child. And, you know, you can't condone the behavior, but also if you're not offering them something to help them improve their lives and help them to get back on the right track, then what do you expect them to do? And there's old mansions over here. There's one down here. Nobody's in any of these. This is
Gorgeous.
Yeah, and then right next to it right here, you've got apartments and trailers. And then around the corner here is where they've got some gorgeous homes.
We keep to do things to number one, fund having a program manager, which is me, and to also we do programs. We can do individual programs to improve the community. We have a community garden that we do to try and, you know, increase neighborhood pride. We also, all of the things that we grow from the garden we give to the local pantries to help feed the needy. And then the other half of the funding goes to the police department in the city, and the majority of that is used for police overtime to do focused, targeted hotspot patrolling, and they also use it to put up, every year they usually put up a new camera in a selected location to help them with managing the issues in that area.
You mentioned the gardens. What are some of your other successes?
We've had quite a few. One of our big ones is the work camp projects. We work with the city of Rockford, and we have been working in the past with Rockford Urban Ministries to do what's called our summer work camps, and that's where we take applications from selected neighborhoods for making improvements on their homes, you know, repainting, going in and making small manageable improvements to just increase the curbside appeal of their homes and try and improve the overall neighborhood. And we've been doing that since the start of the grant. I believe to date we've done, I believe, 17 homes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we do them for low income, elderly and disabled individuals, and we're planning on doing that again this year. So, and this year it should be a bigger initiative because we're trying to partner with some other people that come in from outside the community to do work, volunteers and things like that. So we're hoping that we can get more homes done this year.
Do you have a good volunteer base?
We do. Obviously, you can never have too many volunteers, but we have a core group of volunteers, people that have been involved with the program for a long time, some of them since its inception, some of them actually helped put the grant together. And they're very dedicated, and they really believe in what we do. And without volunteers in Weed and Seed, there would be no Weed and Seed. We we can't do it because obviously I'm just one person. And when it comes to actually getting out there and doing these things and putting boots on the ground, these are the people that are really to take it back. We work with South 6th Street. We work with Keith Creek, who just share a border with us, but nonetheless they're very close, so we work with them as well. We actually just put in a grant they were the ones that were hit by back-to-back 100-year floods. And we've just put in a grant to try and work on Churchill Park over in their area to try and improve that and make it a place where, so that they can actually have a community gathering place where families and children can feel safe going to. So we're waiting to hear on that right now.
With that community that was hit by the floods that you're working with, has there been any relief with the houses that are sitting that are not livable?
Our community has done a lot to try and bring in some external funding because obviously we need state and federal level help to deal with that. But one of the things we recently did was, I believe it was through FEMA, it was a disaster drill where they actually used those homes to do a training exercise for the emergency preparedness personnel. And they did things like one of them, it was like a tornado drill. They actually crunched up a bus and put it through one of the homes, and then they had people and mannequins and stuff in the buildings and had the fire and all of those people go in and actually extract these people to practice what it would be like in a real life situation. So they actually used those, and then when they were done they demolished the homes. So some of them they've gotten rid of, some of them are still over there.
Do you enjoy this job?
Well, I've always believed that someone has to stand up for the people that can't or don't know how to stand up for themselves. I mean, I haven't always, had a decent home and had, a comfortable life where I can pay my bills and things like that. I mean, when I was in college, I went through a point where I had nowhere to live. When I first had my daughter, I finished my master's degree while I was 8 months pregnant. And, working in a restaurant, I worked in a restaurant pregnant until the day before I gave birth. And, I've been on public assistance programs, and I've done all of these things. I know what it's like to need a hand. And I don't believe in giving handouts because I don't think that they help anyone. But I do believe that everyone deserves a chance to have a helping hand. Everyone needs a little help now and then, and I think that we need to be there to give it. And I think that for me, using my education in that way was important to me rather than just, getting a degree in business or something like that and going on to, do the profession that would make the most money. I mean, I started out in undergrad as doing pre-med, and I finished every class but 2 with straight A's and everything. And I just changed my mind because that's not what I feel strongly about. I loved working as a counselor too, but my opinion is that, you can't change things by standing outside the building throwing rocks up at the windows. You've got to get inside, you've got to get up to the top levels, and you've got to affect change that way. Because otherwise, you're just screaming at a wall. Unless you are really in there and you really know the people and you know the system and you know how it works and you have the capacity to affect change, you're not going to be able to do
All this
anything.
stuff is down here. These houses are so old. This is where Rockford started. Nobody knows about it.
Now, is there any private financial entities that have shown interest at all in coming in and...
As far as taking over these homes, not really. We've had, here and there, once in a while. I mean, look how big that house is.
Yeah.
$250,000 for that house. Think about how much that house would be if you put it somewhere besides here. I mean, these are truly historic houses. These are landmarks.